Nigeria share borders with Niger. That is my biggest concern. That when you hear that word, Fulani herdsmen, these are Nigerian who occupied Nigeria forest. They have been giving Nigeria toughest time over the years now. If Nigeria decided to add this threat to them, believe me, there will be a great consequences to Nigeria. I'm not saying as an ECOWAS president that you should not speak, but imposing or threatening their president because he came through in as a coup, your biggest imagination as the president of Nigeria right now, or any ECOWAS president, or anybody that is in Africa right now, is how to put your house in order. Anyway, I want you guys to watch what Sir Balaji said over how the ECOWAS make rational decision. They were so quickly to speak when it was not necessary. So I want you guys to watch this particular video. We'll be right back.
I think Ecowas spoke too quickly. The AU is there and has been more circumspect in the way it's looking and dealing with the matter. But I can understand why Ecowas behaved the way it did, because the coup poses an existential threat to the current democratically elected leaders, in Ecowas. Some of them feel if that succeeds, they might be next. I don't know, there's an infographic I sent. I don't know if it's ready yet. I would have liked to just explain something to us, something to do. If you look across Africa right now, when it comes, I'll speak to it, but if you look at the continent right now, it's been divided effectively into two by what? Military, if you like, military hunters across the continent. From what you call it now, Guinea, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, Chad, and Sudan. That's it.
Yes.
If you see the red, the red that you see there, these are all military regimes. Africa has been divided into two. You think it's an accident? Something is going on. What is happening here is that Africa has become the battlefield of the world powers right now. And because Africa remains the richest resource ground for the world economy, everybody is fighting for the heart and soul of the continent. Like what's happening in Niger right now. The EU have said they have enough uranium to last for a little while, but when that runs out, some industries are going to collapse in those places. Okay? So what is happening basically is Russia, I find this very interesting, whereas what is happening, they're good chess players, and so they are masters at this game. We're looking at the war in Ukraine. That when Wagner, it was as if they were rebelling against Putin, and they suddenly wondered, so what happened? We got fooled. They wanted to use that to enter somewhere, and they did. Don't be fooled. The Russians know the game that they are playing, except that the way they are playing is in consultation with the rest of Africa. Remember, they wiped out debts of how many billions? I can't even remember the figure. Is it $23 billion?
Let's look up those numbers now. But
yeah,
I did
please,
hear
just so that I don't give the wrong figures. But billions of dollars wiped away. So they're not just talking, they're walking the talk. Okay? Along with China, you can see what they're doing. What has been happening is the Western powers we've respected all this while, all well and good, they're great and all that, but they have been, exploitative in their relationship with Africa. There has been no respect for Africans, and for the first time, Africans are beginning to deal with people who show them a little bit of respect, although they may also be exploiting, but the relationship is more like we sit on the table together, not like a master and a servant. Now, the West does not like this, but Russia and China, who are great allies, whether we see it or not, China may be talking with US and all that, but the truth is the alliance with Russia still remains the same. The communism that kept them together is that same thread that keeps them till tomorrow. Now, so what you see is a situation where it is NATO on the one hand versus Russia and China. China is just in the background but they're there just giving all the necessary backup. So what Russia is doing right now is backing up, this military to take over. You remember, and what we need to be careful about again, you see, Wagner came into some of these countries, and people thought, when the West were pushing, they were sponsoring terrorism. For what I said to you earlier on, what happened in what the army were saying in Niger, that their own president was telling them not to go after the terrorists. Who does that? It therefore tells you that the West know what they're doing. They're promoting some of these people. I remember what Museveni said. I saw the video, so it's not like a second-hand story, where he talked about 6 African presidents. He didn't go, but he sent one of his ministers. They were going to Libya to broker peace, and they got a call from NATO saying what? Go back to where you're coming from. 6 presidents of independent African countries, and you're ordering them back. Who does that? And where is Libya today? So you can see that the things that have been happening have not really been in our best interest. For so long, the West has done what it has done, but a few more people are getting wiser. And let me tell you how they recruit some of their people as well. Some of these people, whether from the side of the West or Russia and the rest, when we send our military to go for training, whether it's in Sandoz, it's in Russia, or wherever, these guys get indoctrinated. For your information, there are black Wagners now. When they come, you won't see the white man. You didn't see them in Niger. These are black Wagners, and there are many more. And so we have to be very careful as we jump into this war. I would think that a non-kinetic method is better. Let's dialogue. If you go militarily, the continent will be scattered. And as you can see from that belt there, it will just be them coming in one full force. Ecowas which was your original question, is depleted right now. So there's no unity in Ecowas anymore. And we are blocking Niger, our source of water.
After a lot of things that are going on behind back doors, Nigeria imposed 7 days ultimatum threat on Niger to reinstate their president, or else there will be a military consequences. Okay, now, Nigeria Senate rejected what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said that, okay, he demanded Nigeria soldiers to invade Niger. They said, no, we're not going to allow you to do this because there will be anarchy, there will be chaos, it might even lead to civil war. So, first of all, let's wait. Let's think of another diplomatic way that we're going to handle these issues.
Today we gather with profound sense of urgency and firm determination, building upon the commitment made during our first extraordinary summit on the grave political crisis befalling our sister nation. During that initial meeting, we voiced our opinion of the people of Niger. It is crucial that we prioritize diplomatic negotiations and dialogue as the bedrock of our approach. We did. And we still look to engage the party involved, including the coup leaders, in honest discussion to convince them to relinquish power as suggested and reinstate President Bazoum. It is our duty to exhaust all avenues of engagement to ensure a swift return to constitutional governance in Niger. Today we gather with profound sense of urgency and firm determination, building upon the commitment made during our first extraordinary summit on the grave political crisis befalling our sister nation. During that initial meeting, we voiced our solidarity with the people of Niger and their democratically elected president, His Excellency Mohamed Bazoum by condemning the military takeover and the unjust detention of their democratically elected president and other officials. As you may recall, we called the junta to rescind the decision of them toppling a democratically elected government. We proceeded to impose sanctions with the hope that this resolute measure will serve as a catalyst for the restoration of the constitutional order in Niger. Regrettably, the 7-day ultimatum we issued during the fourth summit has not yielded the desired outcome. We have also made diligent effort through the deployment of various Ecowas mediation teams. I'm glad Abdul Salam Abubakar is here. His Eminence is here. Babad Konogingibe is here to give you the report and their observation during the intervention.
So Nigeria, who have been supplying power, which is electricity to Niger, decided to cut off their 70% electricity supply they have been given to Niger, which is Niger now suffer electricity power and managing their remaining 30% power electricity supply. Remember that the Russia are with them, so there would be a lot of support from the Russians, and there are a lot of things that they will put in place to make sure that these people don't suffer. So some certain African people, they are believing that this is an opportunity for the Africans to wake up. I think they were also protesting in Paris recently over these same issues, that France, leave Africa alone. Now, the British, which is also controlling Nigeria, but Nigerians, or I don't know, Africa, most of African presidents don't have sense. I'm sorry to use this word, because they allow the Western world to use Africa to fight Africa. I don't know if you understand this word. Just like they are trying to use Ukraine to fight Russia. Over the years, no matter how the war will look like, remember, Russia have destroyed over half of the countries of Ukraine. If the war is over today, Ukraine have many years ahead of them to rebuild back their country, to rebalance their economy. But the NATO who caused this war, the economy, their country is just moving on fine. Everything is going on well in their country. If Nigerian allowed the UK or whatsoever NATO or France or whatsoever country that is controlling their head right now as an ECOWAS, okay, using ECOWAS to fight against Africa, what will happen in Africa, the war that will happen in Africa, remember, do not affect the Western world. We all will bear it together. We'll face the consequences together. We will bear the pains together. If there's civil war, it will destroy the Africa. Then, remember, we are just having Boko Haram, Fulani herdsmen in the Nigeria forest that's causing a lot of chaos. Imagine now that those military have to automatically now say, we are not hiding anymore now. They now bring out their face, occupy Nigeria forest. They will not be farm anymore. And they will not transportation. The only transportation that will be working, it will be aircraft. If it is not plane, if you're going to go by the road, you are gone. So don't say Nigeria soldiers are strong that they can take Niger or whatsoever. We're talking about military to military. These are people that you are not going to be fighting the military alone. You're going to be fighting against their citizens, and people will occupy your forest. There are a lot. We shouldn't pray for war. We shouldn't pray for war. And Nigerians or Africa should not allow the Western world to control them against themselves. All right, we love you. Remember, God loves you more. Until we meet again, peace out.
Don't forget to subscribe to get notified. And as you they share your support, now say God bless you too.
Sense on the bit.
Plan B TV, Plan B TV, Plan B TV. Oh. TV, Plan B TV, Plan B TV.